Hey Jay, how
Jay,
are
how
you?
are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you, Carmen.
So glad to
So
have you
glad to have you
here. So
here. So,
guys, I
guys,
wanted
I
to hop
wanted
on
to
this
hop on
week.
this week.
You have heard
You
me
have heard
talk
me
about
talk
this week
about this week
about
about
W2 and
W2 and
1099, cash
1099,
flow,
cash flow,
the cash
the
flow
cash flow
quadrant,
quadrant,
and I have
and I have
also talked about how I feel about having a second stream of income, what I like to call having that additional nest of egg. So today I want to introduce you to one of my friends. He's a partner. He's an amazing person. I learn from him every day. And this is one of the things that I love about my business because I get to meet people just like Jay. We are on a mastermind and I love to just tune him and listen to his wisdom. And today I let him tell him a little bit about himself, but just to let you know, he had a 30-year corporate marketing job. And things happen, just like I had mentioned before, that those unexpected things that we go through in life, that sometimes we are ahead of the game, sometimes we're not. And that veered him into the entrepreneur lifestyle, what I like to
Mhm.
call. And Jay, tell us a little bit about your background, those 30 years in corporate America, and how was it that you got shifted? What happened that you
Sure.
ended up in a total different field?
Life has its challenges and it has its joys, and you just try and make the best of all of it. So I grew up on a blueberry farm in Indiana, which I actually purchased from my parents and ran for 3 years between undergraduate and graduate school. But it was on the blueberry farm that I learned to really love marketing. When I was growing up, most of the product was being picked by migrant labor and shipped to the warehouse for grocery stores. And after undergraduate school, when I purchased the farm, I thought, let's do U-Pick and sell more, and sell recreation, if you will. And that worked really, really well. And it increased the profitability of the farm significantly because I was selling fruit on the farm for a higher price than if we had had it all picked and shipped to the market and sold at a wholesale value. And so when I went back to graduate school, I ended up in marketing, and it led to a 30-year career. Um, Consumer packaged goods primarily in the food industry. So General Mills, Sara Lee, ConAgra, about a dozen of those 30 years was at the vice president of marketing level. So it was a good career. I was very satisfied. I was happy what I was doing. I was producing good results and thought that's what I'd be doing forever. And
Mm-hmm.
then life took a kind of left turn. One of the issues of being in the corporate world is you are not in control of what happens to you. So even though I was producing good results, the organization went through a change and they did a significant staff reduction, and I was put out on the street. And that happened to happen in 2007 when the United States economy was starting to crash. And so I was in job search looking for a new job because that's all I knew. For 30 years, I'd had a job. And that's when there were very few jobs to have, and so many people had been let go of other positions, so there was a lot of competition. And finally, after 3 years, I just decided I needed to reinvent myself in a new way because it was unlikely I had too much experience and had to have such a high level that it just wasn't going to be. So I became an entrepreneur in that state, in the real estate environment. I started flipping houses. I ended up in a place where I was doing private mortgages for a lot of the people who flipped the houses. I would rather be involved with the financing of the deals than the
Mm-hmm.
actual construction of the properties. So I did over 100 private mortgages, and it was an interesting time to be in that world where you're creating value.
I think I,
Paused.
I think
okay.
okay.
Okay, we're back. So,
Yes.
so that's been good, and I've enjoyed that. And along the way, I've built a large portfolio of some rental properties. I have apartments, and I have a quadruplex and a fiveplex. You know, so there's passive income that's coming in through that. But then I reached a point where I wanted more and more passive income, but I didn't have the capital that was required to be able to continue to buy more and more properties, because with each property you buy, you have to come in with a down payment. And I have hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in the portfolio, but there's just not, I would love to duplicate it, but I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars more at this point to continue to buy properties. And so that led me to the world of network marketing, where you can build cash flowing assets as opposed to buying them. And so
So
that's
let
the
me
journey
ask
that I'm on.
you,
Sure.
I'm glad that you get to that point. How did you start? Like, you knew people that were entrepreneurs that were in the real estate. How did you venture into that route? It
Well,
was something that
Carmen,
just
it's an interesting thing. I had never really focused on investments when I was in the corporate world because my life was good. I was always getting more responsibility, serving larger and larger organizations, and had larger departments working under me. And there was just always more money than the previous year, and it was exceeding our lifestyle expenses. And so I just thought it would continue forever. I wasn't smart enough to see what could happen. And during those dry 3 years, when I was in job search, if you are the primary breadwinner for your family, and for 3 years you don't bring home any bread, things get kind of tight. Now, fortunately, we had been savers. And so unlike so many people that might have lost their home during the recession, and job loss, that didn't happen to us. But during that period, I read Robert Kiyosaki's initial book on Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And of course, he talks all about generating passive streams of income through investment. And when you're in a position where you're in dire need of inflow, the concept of doing investments to generate things on a passive basis can be quite compelling. And so that led to a lot of education in the real estate world. In the end of the day, when it comes to entrepreneurs, I believe there are 3 forms of capital. The one most people think about is financial capital. But as well, there's the knowledge capital. What can you see to create value that other people can't see? So you're bringing value to the table. And the other is your sphere of influence. Who can you bring to the table that can help facilitate a transaction because you're getting all the pieces in the right place? And I've always felt if you have 2 of the 3, you can get a transaction done. If you have the knowledge and you have the relationships, it's pretty easy to find money for good deals, because money's always looking for a home that can create more value. On the other hand, if you have the money and you have the relationships, it's easy to buy the knowledge. Where people get into trouble is when they try to come to the table and create a deal and they don't have the money, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the relationships. And even if you have one of those, if you just come to the table with a lot of money, you're likely to lose it because you don't have the knowledge or the relationships, so you get involved with the wrong people doing the wrong deals. Or if you just have the knowledge, you sit on the sidelines because you have a great idea about what you'd like to do, but you don't have access to the right people or access to the money. So 2 out of 3 is table stakes.
Yes.
And if you happen to have all 3 out of 3, that gives you more options, because you can do it all alone, but that doesn't mean you need to do it all alone.
Correct.
So in that case, what a person can do is they can build up their knowledge base to build that kind of capital in an area that you're interested in. And these days, there is so much information available. As well, you can build up your sphere of influence. With social media, it's not just the people in your local community that you can deal with. You can find like-minded people different places. You're in Florida. I happen to be in Pennsylvania. And it doesn't stop us from connecting and doing things together.
Yes,
And
and
the
that's how we
financial
met.
capital, yeah, absolutely. And the financial capital is something that is in today's economy, there's all kinds of money looking for a good home to create more value. You just need to be able to understand how value is created and be able to present it in the right way to people with money. But there are people that have so much generated, they just need a place to put it for a nice, safe return. And that's a wonderful place to be in this world. There are times in the cycles when money is a lot harder to get, but these days it's very available.
So let me ask you, you came across network marketing through the books of Robert Kiyosaki, or how was
Well,
it that came to you?
so I happened to get involved. My wife of 44 years, coming up in another week, so is,
Congratulations.
thank you very much. She was involved with a network marketing company for a long time in the nutrition area in Shackley. And that was kind of her deal, and while I was doing the corporate deal. So I wasn't personally involved, but I was very supportive of a spouse who was doing it. And in 2017, I was not looking to get involved in the network marketing area specifically, but a good friend from networking happened to become the master distributor for a cryptocurrency network marketing deal that was coming to the United States from Europe. And to help support that friend, I got involved. And then I happened to do quite well in that when the crypto boom was happening back in 2017. And I really became addicted. You know, I built a team of 700 or so, and life was good for a while until the whole thing came crashing down. That was all due to regulations and lack of clarity from our government about what rules apply to cryptocurrency. So things that were, we thought legal, and we had legal opinions that what we were doing was right in 2017. In 2018, it ended. But once you get the bug, so the thing about network marketing is it is the perfect opportunity to generate leverage. I am a person who seeks lifestyle freedom. I'm looking to get full-time income from part-time effort. And the only way that you do that is with leverage. Now, that's no different from managing a large portfolio of real estate and only having a portion of it my own cash because I'm leveraging the bank's money for a large part of it, right? In the case of network marketing, we are leveraging other people's time. So the way that the compensation structure can work, we can put in 10 hours of ourselves, and if we're working with a group of 10 who are also putting in 10 hours, I'm getting compensated off of 100 hours of work in a week. Now, how is that possible when I'm only putting in so little? It's because we're taking advantage of the system and the structure and the way that it's put together. And so I love the aspect of leverage in network marketing where we can help other people achieve more in life that they want, and at the same time generate a residual income return over the long term as consumption continues. And that's how, you know, in that team of 700 that I had back in 2017, I only brought in about 30 of that 700. And it was through the efforts of all these other people that the base continued to expand.
Yeah,
and
that's the beauty of the business.
You're absolutely correct. And it's something that is available to anyone who is willing to put into the effort. When it comes to something like real estate, or when it comes to running an online business and driving traffic to a site, it takes very specialized knowledge to make a return as opposed to losing a lot of money, right? That knowledge capital is very critical. The thing about network marketing is that network marketing at its core is people sharing and referring to other people. I like to say it from the standpoint that how does it make you feel when someone tells you about a new restaurant or a movie or a new app for your phone or something that could help you get more out of life. It makes you feel wonderful, right? Well, at its core, that's what we're doing in network marketing. We have an opportunity that we believe can benefit many people, and we're just sharing it. Some people will be ready to take advantage of the opportunity. Some people simply want to take advantage of the products. And a lot of people won't desire to take advantage of any of it, and that's fine. I mean, when I tell somebody I just enjoyed this new restaurant, and if they choose to not go to it, my feelings aren't hurt. I was just trying to help them out. And similarly, if someone is not interested in the business opportunity or the products that we bring to the table, it doesn't hurt my feelings, but I love the fact that it is trying to help others. I believe humanity is, mankind, it's a blessing when we can help other people. And this is the opportunity to bring something in a professional way that most people don't fully understand to try to bring benefits to their life. And much like you were talking about,
you made a good point.
Go ahead.
That most people don't understand this. So I want to trace you back.
Okay.
Did you ever feel skeptical about it? It was something that you understood since the beginning? Did it take you some time to understand it? Tell me, what was your experience?
So I never felt real negatively like so many people do, because my wife had a positive experience in it for a long time. She was not a big team builder. She's a nutritionist, and she used the products of a great company in her practice of helping people improve their lives. But I was very evident to me about all the other people that were benefiting financially as they built large teams. And I also look at it like this. The government does a great job of keeping scams away from regular people. And network marketing has been around for 140 years. And there are companies, legacy companies, that have been around decades and decades and decades. And certainly there are some that come up, and there are some bad players out there. There are some 42,000 network marketing companies that have started in the last 40 years, and not all of those were good companies, and many of them never reached success, and they were a flash in the pan and they got put away. And there are others that got, their hand slapped by the government because they were doing something that was outside the rules and regulations. But the companies with strong leadership bring a capable program to the table that meets all the laws, and when it's structured to help the people achieve more, and it's doable, and the products are good and create good value for the customer base, then it becomes a company whose sales just continue to build as more and more people become aware of it. But the simple fact of the matter is, I'm a marketer. I understand the power of word-of-mouth advertising. We can put a lot of money on the internet or on the television or on the radio and the billboards, and we're bombarded all the time by messages of marketers. However, when a friend that you trust says, I really think you ought to look into this, you're so much more likely to take that step. And when it comes to quality products like our company offers that take a little bit more information, it's not just sold by price and promotion. It's sold because it's a better solution to real problems that people have. And we need people to be able to introduce it in a way to explain more of the story. And that's why the company goes. And the commissions that we earn in network marketing are simply a replacement for all the costs of having it go through the stores and all the markups that are made. I like to say it like this. I worked for General Mills for a long time, and was involved in cereals. And if you think about a box of Cheerios, your local grocery store that sells Cheerios makes a lot more on the sale of that box of Cheerios than General Mills did. But General Mills sells to everybody and the store is only selling to their customer base, right? So the closer you can be to that end point of consumption, it's just the way margins work. Margins get added on top of margins, and the most profit is made by the people closest to the customers. And that's why I would rather be in network marketing as the distribution force closest to the customer as opposed to the company. We use our company, Viseo, as a fulfillment center. They create the products, they do all the packaging, they do all the back-end business. We don't have employees in our business. We are independent distributors for the company. But when a package of core is sold, our daily nutritional vitamin and mineral product, we're making a much larger profit on the sale of that as the distribution force than the company is on it itself. And yet the company has all the liability, they have all the cost and investment, and so network marketing truly allows that independent distributor to reap the greatest reward, but have the least risk, the least cost, and we do it at the times we choose to do it. Some people can choose to get involved and all they're looking for is maybe an extra $1,000 a month because they want a better vacation or they want to go to nicer meals or do some more fun things with the family. Other people are looking to replace a job that they don't like, and they can choose to put in more effort and build a larger organization. And some people choose to really step up and do it to a large degree to build a large team because they want to transform their life and they want something more than they would have been able to accomplish if they were just an employee helping build somebody else's dreams as opposed to their own dreams. So the great thing about network marketing is it is completely up to you how much time and effort you put in. But because of the leverage, it truly is the case that you can enjoy a full-time income or more with only part-time effort. And for so many people who are time stressed, who are financially stressed, who aren't spending the kind of experiences they want to have with their family and loved ones because they're stuck in traffic, going to jobs that they hate, working for bosses that are so demanding, it's just a better way to choose for life to be for the people willing to take. Some people believe employment is the most secure way. Somebody else is telling you what to do, they're providing you all of the tools, and they're have an expectation for what you need to do to earn your paycheck. On the other hand, as I experienced, there was nothing wrong that I did that ended my 30-year career. I expected to be working another 15, 20 years before I retired. And that didn't happen. And it wasn't my choice. And it's simply the cards that got dealt up. So when you take the personal responsibility to say, how can I learn that knowledge capital? How can I build relationships with people who can help me accomplish what I want for that relationship capital? And how can I build the financial capital on a passive residual basis that's leveraged so it continues to grow even though my time commitment does not grow? It's just a wonderful opportunity.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, do you think that your experience in your 30-year career helped you leverage this business, or you feel that in our company, actually in our organization in a specific, would you say that the business school has helped you become better when it comes to working your business?
So the corporate world and the entrepreneurial world are very different worlds. I worked in large companies, and there were large groups of people working in departments that each had a very narrow piece. I was responsible for the marketing, but I was not responsible for the manufacturing. I was not responsible for employment. I was not responsible for the corporate governance. In the world of an entrepreneur, there are so many decisions, you have to cover it all, as your own. When I ran my private lending business or my real estate business, there were so many things I was responsible for. I find network marketing a happy medium because the systems and structures are in place. And like I said before, our role in the end is a very simple role. It's to build a distribution network such that we can have more and more consumption of the product. And everything else is done for us. And so I do agree that, there is the kind of network marketing does not take the same risk as having being a full-time entrepreneur in your own business. But you mentioned the business school. I have agreed with others who say that the Overcome Nation Business School and Mentoring Program is truly an unfair advantage for what we have in the network marketing world. We are the only team within Viseo, and we don't know every team in every other organization, but we are not aware of any other organization that has the quality of a business school that not only teaches about how to be a great network marketer, but also teaches you about all of the characteristics of a well-rounded life and what the wealthy success habits are. It's all about the strengths of financial strength and emotional strength and mental strength. It's about time strength. It's about physical strength. It's about social interactions and how we can accomplish more of that. And finally, there's a spiritual element to all of this. And our team has come together as just such an empowering community of people who are happy because they see themselves progressing toward their dreams. And we're getting instruction 3 to 4 times a week, mentored by millionaires who invested, $500,000 in their education. A lot of it comes from Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter and many others who helped these millionaires understand and create what they did in real estate, in diamonds and gemstones, in a variety of other businesses. And now, as our other leaders are building up and taking up more responsibility in the Overcome Nation, it's a very wonderful thing because different personalities respond to different styles. And our primary mentor, Rick Gutman, is, ex-football, big burly buff guy who's had all this success. But some people respond to a different style. And to see a single mom who was able to rise up to create a large organization of her own, better care for her child, pay off debt, go from in prior organizations earning a small monthly residual to now earning more than $500,000 a year, learning from that individual empowers other people who respond to that style as opposed to, the tradition. So I clearly believe that Overcome Nation, financial literacy is not taught. I have an MBA from Indiana University. I spent 2 years in graduate school. A lot of it was in finance and economics, as well as, of course, the marketing degree that I ended up with. And when I started reading Robert Kiyosaki myself before the investments in real estate and private lending, I learned so many things that I'd never heard about in the corporate environment. Similarly, for most people who join Overcome Nation, they are not business professionals. They are people looking to improve their life who are stepping into a side gig. And in most network marketing companies, those individuals, they come in with false expectations, they flounder, and then they leave. And that's the reason there's such low retention. In the world of Overcome Nation, where they step into a business school and mentoring program, they build this time strength. They learn financial literacy. They learn why our system works the way that it works and how it can be replicated. And they learn, as they start to get more and more cash flow coming into their life, how do they invest that for their long-term well-being, because it's not just about making an extra buck, in the network marketing world. It's about transforming your life and rising up your expectations about what is possible, and getting to that point where you have both financial freedom and time freedom and can truly craft the lifestyle of your dreams. And
Mm-hmm.
to be involved with a number of people in that same journey is just a wonderful environment. And it makes you feel so good to see other people joining, to see other people ranking up and achieving their dreams. And I talked about the issue in network marketing of so many people's expectations not being met and not being taught the right way. And that led to low retention. Typical in the industry, less than 10% stick around and actually are making money after a year. In our Overcome Nation group, because of the education, because of the mentoring, and because of the great company and products that we have, people are coming in and they're staying. And our retention is over 70%. And when you're trying to build a team upon team of layers in the organization, having so many leaders building up upon leaders brings an experience base that allows us to have best practices so each of us can grow that much faster. And we know what's possible because we're seeing people all around us achieve a level of success. And so that helps us have that time streak to stick it out and achieve success.
And I couldn't agree, I mean, better, because I know how it feels to not just to leverage a business, but the people that you meet, the energy, the vibe, the mindset, the knowledge, everything, it just takes you to another level. It's not just building a business on your own. And I believe that is so important, because being an entrepreneur is a lonely lifestyle when you're doing
It
it
can be.
alone.
It can be, certainly. And, the other aspect of this is all about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
When one is in a corporate environment and someone else is making the decisions and they set a budget and it's what exists, and there are always opportunities for more, but it's not their plan. So you live in a world of scarcity. You're always looking for more. They're more and more demanding of what you do, but they are providing more and more resources. Every time we would come out with new products or go into new markets, we'd say, okay, our budget went from here to here, but now we need more people because we're managing more things. And we would end up with less people because that's just the way
Mm-hmm.
corporations are run, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the world of network marketing, the people who succeed have a mindset of abundance. They believe more is possible. They believe they can find more people, and the more we give to others, it's really leadership in network marketing is about being a servant leader, because the compensation is structured where you don't get paid until you help someone else earn a check first. And that's just
Mm-hmm.
the way it is, and it builds and it builds. And pretty soon you find yourself working many levels down in the organization because you're wanting to help the people who see that vision be able to succeed and do more in their life. And it's just such a wonderful feeling when you can see people who came from a situation of stress and frustration not achieving what they wanted in life. And when they can start to live a different lifestyle because all of a sudden cash flow is recurring and it's coming in, it's a wonderful place to be.
Yes, it is. I agree with you. Well, Jay, it has been an amazing live. I really appreciate your time. I just, every time that I listen to you, I learn more and more. So I thank you for, I know you're busy. Thank you for being here tonight. Anything that you want to say before we close? I know there's a lot of people that, they just sit in the back seat and they just listen and watch, and they know they need to bring change in their life, but they don't do it. What would be a positive advice or word that you would share with that person today?
I would say that the primary thing that limits people's growth is right between their ears, you know? If you don't believe it's possible for yourself, it will never happen for you. But when you see evidence of other people speaking positively about a step forward that they took, it really should be your responsibility to try to evaluate it and make an educated decision. Mm-hmm. Network marketing is not simple. Network marketing is something that everyone who tries doesn't succeed at. But it is something that everybody can do well, especially if you step into a team like ours with a business school and a mentoring program. If you step into a company that is on that sphere of growth on the upstream, we're a little over a 2-year-old company. We're in pre-momentum. And the real growth, the strong growth, is going to be over the next 3 or 4 years. And people who get in at this point can really have the blessing of substantial expansion, not only across the United States. We're currently in 12 countries. I don't know what the plan is and how many countries that we'll be in, but I'm sure it's going to be many more than 12 as we look back 5 years from now. And so people need to have an open mind and understand how their life could be different if you reach that point where you are truly using leverage to get a bigger bang for your effort. If you can be putting in effort today and you're getting a 3x return or a 5x return on your effort, and if a few years from now that can be a 20x return or a 50x return, and you understand that principle, you will understand the reason this is so compelling to the people who are willing to put in the effort initially so they can get back rewards again and again and again. If you have an employee mindset and you're just trading time for money, you're going to be in that situation when you've reached the age and you don't want to continue to put in all the hours every day anymore, where the income flow is going to stop. And think about what your lifestyle is going to be like then. And today is a day that you can do something about it. We are in just an opportunity that is unrivaled in anything I've ever seen in my life. Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote all these books about investments in gas wells and real estate and owning businesses, he said if he had it all over to do again, now that he fully understands network marketing, he would put his focus first in network marketing. And then he would take the results, that additional cash flow that comes in beyond lifestyle expenses, and learn how to invest that in the businesses and the oil wells and the everything else. But there is so much more power available with leverage in network marketing, with low capital investment, with low risk, as opposed to the high capital investment and high risk involved in the endeavors the way he went about it the first time. And so if someone like Robert Kiyosaki can learn so much more about this environment and say, gee, that's better than what I did. When you look at people like Warren Buffett and Richard Branson, who have been just, says to me that if the richest and smartest people in the world are looking at this environment, don't listen to the garbage of all the people who are not involved in it, who just want to say it's a scam, because that's not my personal experience. And that's, if I believe network marketing were what most people think it is, I wouldn't want to be involved in it. But if most people knew what we know about it, they'd be dying to get involved. So I hope that the people are just open to learning more, to learning the real facts, because the people who become really knowledgeable about its potential understand how life-changing it can be.
Amen. I love it.
I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your audience, Carmen. I love what you bring to the table as well. This is truly a place where everybody brings a different perspective. And obviously, as a person who was 30 years in a corporate world and 10 years as an entrepreneur, I bring a little bit different experience base to the table. But by the same token, I am set in my ways in so many ways. and I can learn a lot from other people about things like this social media way to get the message out to impact positively more people's lives.
Yes.